This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 27th day of February in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The regional chairman for Region 4, Daniel Searam, has issued a call for the removal of the regional executive officer, Donald Gajraj, over what he considers to be a series of violations and infractions by the REO. During a press conference today, the regional chairman outlined in detail several occasions where the REO failed to act in the best interests of the RDC and the people of Region 4. He reminded that the region was won by the APNU-AFC coalition at the last elections. But since then, there continues to be active efforts to undermine the work of the coalition in the region.
It is unacceptable and unlawful for Mr. Gajraj to be able to continue his egregious behavior, especially given that Region 4 is governed by the APNU-AFC, which won Region 4 and is the legitimate representative of the people of Region 4. Clearly, the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development and the PPPC are seeking to grab power through the back door, which is a clear indication that the Minister and the PPPC do not believe in local democracy or the rule of law.
Chairman Searam alleges that there has been political interference in the affairs of the region by the central government, and he has singled out the Minister of Local Government, Nigel Daramalal.
The illegal actions of the imposed PPPC political regional executive officer, Donald Gajraj, in the Demerara Mahaica region, region number 4, are a clear violation of the laws of Guyana. Despite being a mere servant to the council, Gajraj has been operating as a puppet of the minister and the PPPC government.
The regional chairman said the REO's continued refusal to carry out the work of the elected council and his recent display during the regional flag-raising ceremony at which he snatched the microphone from the regional chairman renders him incapable and unacceptable for the position he currently holds.
It is time for Gajraj to resign or be removed and allow for someone who is committed to upholding the spirit of our Constitution, promote local democracy, and is disposed to managing the region in a way that allows it to function in the interests of the people of Region 4.
Mr. Searam said Mr. Gajraj's continuation at the RDC will further exacerbate a tense atmosphere. He said staff members are dissatisfied with the REO, while concerns have been mounting about potential corruption in the tender process fueled by the REO. He believes the issues and concerns are in need of urgent attention. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
At the most critical life-changing moments, the National Insurance Scheme is here to ensure that your needs are covered. Access reimbursement for medical expenses for various aspects of your medical care. We know that eye care is of utmost importance. Receive assistance with our Spectacle Care voucher. Visiting the dentist? Dental care is also covered under our sickness benefit services. Offset the funeral expenses of a loved one with costs covered by our funeral benefits. National Insurance Scheme. We're there every step of the way.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to us.
New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 2260-415-7. Comfortable parking available.
A newborn baby was found alive and abandoned near a canal at Recess in Maikoni today. The young baby boy was found wrapped in a pair of pants and a gift paper by a group of farmers working in the area. Police officers were quickly summoned to the scene. Upon arrival, the police officers rushed the baby to the Maikoni Public Hospital for medical attention. One of the workers who discovered the abandoned baby, Clem Abel, told News Source that he and his workmates became curious after hearing a child crying. Abel explained that from all indications, the baby was abandoned shortly after birth, as part of the placenta was visible on the child. However, he said a newborn might have been abandoned since yesterday.
Because she asked about the hand, but can't tell the people them say that it is yesterday afternoon because they feel really this alien and then and they never really pay attention. It's still to be carried away now fall away the baby. Carried away fall is half the so.
According to the man, residents in the area mistook the cries of the child for a barking dog. However, he said it was not a sound that they were prepared to ignore, and upon checking the area, the baby was discovered alive. He said he cried for the baby. When contacted, the Health Ministry's Public Relations Office confirmed that the baby is currently receiving medical attention at the Maikoni Public Hospital and all seems fine. While the child's gender has been confirmed, his age is still to be determined. According to Shaw, the hospital has called in the Ministry of Social Services. Well, President Irfan Ali is not too happy with the criticism that his government has been receiving since the announcement was made that indigenous communities will be getting 15% from the sale of carbon credits. Of the $700 million which the country is set to receive from the sale in the next 10 years, the Amerindian communities will be given around $112.5 million. This year, more than 240 indigenous communities will be given $4.7 billion, representing a 15% of the monies that will be collected this year. And although civil society groups and the parliamentary opposition are not happy with the payout, the president is defending it.
Outside of this 15%, the hinterland and riverine communities continue to benefit from budgetary allocation in the normal budget process. Not only the presidential grants, but investment through the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health, ensuring that every single Amerindian community have access to health care. Every single Amerindian community having access to quality education. Working on a program that will see hundreds of millions of dollars invested in water to ensure that Amerindian communities have, and hinterland and riverine communities have access to water.
The president appeared incensed particularly at the opposition, who he said made a call for the money to be given to the Amerindian communities directly. He said the calls by the opposition cannot be a serious one, since among other things they shut down the initial low-carbon development strategy.
They would want us to forget that this very APNU AFC government is the government that took away more than 2,000 CSO jobs, that took away almost $4 billion from our Amerindian people. Guess what? It is this government that restored that $4 billion back to Amerindian people and Amerindian communities.
The U.S.-owned Hess Corporation, a consortium partner in Guyana's offshore oil sector, has agreed to buy $750 million worth of carbon credits in the next 10 years, as it works to ensure Guyana's almost intact Amazonian rainforest remains standing for decades to come. Let's tell you now that residents of Agricola on the east bank of the Marara have been promised that their community will see major development works as part of the government's major push for infrastructural development across the country. On Sunday, President Irfanali paid a visit to the impoverished community and promised the residents that they will not be left behind. The president said he is aware of the challenges being faced by the community, and he will be working hand in hand with the members of the community to bring much needed help.
We want to really work with you. This morning I'm here with a very simple message. That is a message that we are unified together. We must work together. We must uplift each other together. And we must respond to each other together. So outside of the drainage, I know Charles already have planned for this community some initiatives in sport and developing your sport infrastructure, so that it can help to give positive areas for our young people.
The Agricola residents did not shy away from raising several issues that affect the community with the president, from the quality of the water into their taps to bad roads and high unemployment among youths. President Ali also promised to provide training for the young men in the community, saying that they could become skilled workers and be able to tap into the growing construction sector.
The only way we are going to advance communities and create new ways of doing things is if you're able to generate positivity, if you're able to create a positive environment in which we live, a positive environment in which we support each other, and an understanding that we are in this all together.
A number of other government officials have visited the community in the past months with information about various development plans.
The Guyana Revenue Authority wishes to notify all lending and licensed financial institutions of their obligation to submit their annual statement, commonly called Form 3. This statement should be submitted to the GRA on or before February 28, 2023. Remember, the submission of your annual statement is critical to the verification and payment of mortgage interest relief refund to taxpayers. Don't be late. Submit your annual statement before the due date. For more information, please contact our Tax Advisory Services section on 227-6060, extension 8000. GRA, your partner in development.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
You taste the cheese, you hear the crunch. Grab a zoomers and zoom into fun. And with the first taste, you feel like you don't want it done. Blast off to a whole new place with every single bite. The cheesy goodness bring your taste buds alive. So let's just zoom into fun with this wheel-shaped light. Zoomers, zoomers, zoom into fun.
Guyana's suspension from the extractive industry's transparency initiative over its failure to submit its fourth annual report is the latest example of the allegedly deficient performance of the national coordinator of the Guyana EITI Secretariat, Dr. Prem Mazir. That's the belief of the civic arm of the multi-stakeholder group. Last week, President Fanali cast blame on the MSG, telling the nation that for approximately 4 months, the approval process for the terms of reference for the independent administrator was stalled by the group. Livid, the head of state, said though the TOR was eventually approved, it was without the support of the civil society representatives who abstained from the voting process. But in an open letter to the president today, the civil society representatives Van der Radzik and Mike McCormack said the GYEITI Secretariat was severely affected by the performance of the national coordinator, who at a critical juncture went missing for 4 months, leaving the terms of reference in the annual report in limbo. Contextualizing the issue, the two civil society members explained that in August of last year, the multi-stakeholder group received a request from the national coordinator for its retroactive approval of the TOR for the fourth report, for which he had produced himself. That request was declined, and done so unanimously. According to the two, late in August, it was discovered that the national coordinator had disappeared from office without informing or seeking the permission from the multi-stakeholder group. Dr. Mazir was reportedly absent from work for 4 months. Radzik and McCormack said in the interim, the MSG worked assiduously with the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Natural Resources to address both the crisis in the secretariat and the need to produce a valid terms of reference. By November, 2 senior civil servants were seconded to the National Secretariat from the Natural Resources Ministry, and the work plan for the production of the TOR for the report was set in motion. At a meeting in December, the MSG concluded that it was no longer necessary for the co-chairs to engage with the national coordinator, since the permanent secretary had reported at the co-chairs meeting that the post of national coordinator had been vacated. At that meeting, a proposal to conduct a performance evaluation of the national coordinator was agreed to. But the same month, the Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat informed the group that he had begun to negotiate directly with EITI International Secretariat to secure an extension of the deadline. In late January, the group was informed that Dr. Mazir was back and would therefore be guiding discussions within the group. Almost a year after she was nabbed at the Chedijagan airport with cocaine in her suitcase and packets of cocaine strapped to her body, 26-year-old former media worker Zenil Williams was today sentenced to 4 years in jail. Williams was busted in April of last year with more than 17 pounds of cocaine in her carry-on bags and another 3.6 pounds of the illegal drug strapped to her body. She had initially pleaded guilty to the cocaine trafficking charge, but later changed that plea to not guilty. 1 week ago, she changed her plea again and told the court that she was guilty of the serious offense. The young woman had earlier been committed to undergo a psychiatric evaluation. She was declared fit to stand trial. This morning, she returned to the Diamond Magistrates Court for her sentencing and was hit with a 4-year prison sentence along with a fine of $14.4 million. 2 other persons were initially charged along with Williams. The 2 who worked at the airport have maintained their innocence of the charge. Their trials are still ongoing. With a number of cases still before the courts, the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit has reported that it was able to take more than $1.1 billion worth of drugs off the streets of Guyana last year. According to KANU, it was able to seize over 3,400 kilograms of narcotics in 2022, and that represents a 68.2% increase when compared to the illegal drugs seized the previous year, 2021. Based on its end of year for 2022 report, marijuana was the most seized drug, followed by cocaine and cannabis seeds. In 2022, the Anti-Narcotics Unit seized some 3,280 kilograms of marijuana, compared to just over 1,900 kilograms in 2021, while 121.3 kilograms of cocaine was seized in 2022 compared to 41 kilograms the previous year. Additionally, some 1 kilogram of cannabis seeds was confiscated by KANU last year. However, while there was an increase in the amount of methamphetamine seized in 2022, there was a significant reduction in the amount of ecstasy confiscated. According to KANU, 818 grams of ecstasy was seized in 2022, compared to 3.1 kilograms in 2021. The Kano report also stated that Region 4 accounted for the majority of the seizures, representing some 62% of drugs busted, followed by Region 6 with 23%, Region 9 with 7%, and Region 3 with 6%. Region 10 only accounted for 2% of the seizures. In Region 4, all 4 illegal substances were found, with cocaine totaling some 104 kilograms, marijuana 410 kilograms, meth 302 grams, ecstasy 366 grams, and 1 kilogram of cannabis seeds. Kanu also seized a number of weapons, including a crossbow, 8 shotguns, and 12 pistols last year. 115 cases were filed in 2022 compared to 75 in 2021. Of the current cases before the courts, 29 involved cocaine, 80 involved marijuana, 4 involved ecstasy, and 2 involved meth. There were a total of 42 convictions last year, according to Kanu.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Buster, win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Across the region, huge crowds have gathered across Mexico to oppose a government drive to shrink the independent electoral authority, arguing the changes threaten democracy. It appeared to be the largest protest yet against the president of Mexico, Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Organizers said in Mexico City over 500,000 people attended the protests, with video footage on social media showing a central Zocalo square filled with protesters. One police officer nearby said he had heard the 500,000 figure, while others gave lower estimates. Mexico's Congress last week approved a major overhaul of the country's electoral institute, which López Obrador has repeatedly attacked as corrupt and inefficient. The president denies the changes will weaken Mexican democracy, but critics have vowed to take the legislation, which slashes the INE's budget and staff, to the Supreme Court. The president of Suriname, Shan Sentoki, has begun hearings with various civil society groups in an attempt to de-escalate the high political tension in the country. But 2 key groups have refused to be part of the consultations with the Surinamese president. The head of state of Suriname said he wanted to obtain input from society to adjust his policy after a peaceful demonstration on the 17th of February turned into a large-scale riot in the capital of Paramaribo, in which numerous businesses were looted and destroyed, and the parliament building was also attacked by demonstrators. While Santoki indicated that he wants to have dialogue with all groups, trade union C47 and the Association of Economists in Suriname say they will not participate in the discussions with the head of government. C47 Chairman Robbie Bernstein is not satisfied with the implementation of previous proposals made to the government by the trade union, and therefore sees no point in talking to Santoki again without concrete actions being taken by his government. The president of Suriname will hear from the trade unions, individual citizens, social groups, political parties, and the business community. In the National Assembly last Friday, the president said he will allocate 2 weeks for the discussions, and if necessary, that period will be extended. And finally tonight, international news. A winter storm that brought unprecedented snow to Southern California has moved eastward, bringing with it tornadoes and powerful winds. Residents in Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Texas were asked to seek shelter as severe weather makes its way to the region throughout the next 2 days. There were reports of damaged homes and knocked down power lines, leaving thousands without power. At least 12 people have been reported injured as a result of the storm. Severe weather is expected to continue to the upper Midwest later in the week. Californians have already faced mass power outages, flooding, and the closures of both motorways and beaches as the storm swept the U.S. state. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.